So the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver has just released our June 2022 stats. So let's take a look and see what happened. The trends we've been tracking for the last couple of months, specifically of increasing inventory and decreasing sales, well, that continued in June. Residential home sales in the region totaled 2,444, and that was a 35% decrease from the 3,762 sales that were recorded in June 2021. Of course, rising interest rates, continued inflation, and a war, well, that kind of stuff weighs heavy on people's minds, so I don't think that these numbers come as a huge surprise. The increase in inventory has actually allowed for a much more pleasant experience on the buyer side after months of cutthroat competition and bidding wars. Now, of course, that's not to say that bidding wars have completely been wiped out for good. In fact, great homes are always in hot demand, and especially when they're well priced. And aggressively priced homes, well, those will always generate huge interest. So, while most of the segments of detached homes have finally adjusted to this balanced market we're in, some areas, most notably West Vancouver, have become a full-blown seller's market. So in June, West Vancouver saw 424 detached listings and only 32 sales. That's an 8% sales ratio. And that is 13.25 months of inventory they have. So for all property types, the sales to active listing ratio for June was 23.4%, technically a seller's market. For detached homes, there was a 14.3% ratio, which is a balanced market. Then 31.5% for townhomes and 30.2% for apartments or condos, so both sellers' markets. And typically, downward pressure on home prices only really occurs when the ratio drops below 12% for a sustained period of time. And I have a funny feeling that West Vancouver will start to feel that pressure soon. For many, the strength in the townhome and the condo market, it comes as a little bit of a surprise. However, what should not come as a surprise is the strength of the condos and townhomes in some of Vancouver's most desirable neighborhoods. Take Kitsilano, for instance. It saw a 39% sales to active ratio. Then there was Fairview, which was a whopping 51% sales ratio. And what that means is if you are looking for townhomes or condos in either of those neighborhoods, you had better be prepared to be in competition because those are firmly entrenched sellers' markets. The news these days is heavily reporting that sales year over year, of course, are down 35%. And while it's true that the sales are down from their crazy highs of 2021, we need to understand that 2021 was an abnormally high year for those home sales. This happened for a number of reasons. Most notably, people were now working from home, needed more space. But if you go back to 2019, our last normal market, we only had 2,094 sales in June. So right now, we are still up 350 sales on those June 2019 numbers. So what does this mean for buyers? With more inventory on the market and half the buyer competition gone for the summer vacation, this could be your time to get off the fence, lock in what's still considered a great rate, and take advantage of that extra inventory. As for sellers, if you've got a condo or a townhome, this is still a great time to sell. Even better if your place is move-in ready and doesn't require renovations because people still do not want to deal with supply chain issues or labor shortfalls these days. And as for sellers with detached homes, don't fret. Sales are still happening, they're just happening at a more relaxed pace. But the one thing is for certain, the agent you choose to list your home in a moderating environment must have experience. They need to have a deep understanding of what it takes to market a home because gone are the days of putting the home on MLS, sign in the front yard, holding a Saturday, Sunday open house, and then expecting 10 offers on Monday. On that note, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks so much for tuning in to our Greater Vancouver Real Estate Housing Update for June 2022 with me, Rhiannon Foster of the Opportunity Homes Collective, and we will see you next month.